So usually when we think about time, we just picture a timeline, like a wooden ruler. You've got the past over on the left, the future on the right, and we are just walking straight across it, inch by inch.
Right, yeah. It's totally linear. 1 second always follows the last.
But then you hit this single sentence in ancient literature that takes that wooden ruler and just snaps it over its knee. Welcome to today's deep dive into John 8.58. Our mission today is exploring how Jesus claiming the eternal I am completely shattered first-century concepts of time.
It really is like a massive collision of grammar and philosophy.
Let's set the scene for everyone. It is a tense debate at the Feast of Tabernacles. The Judean leaders are relying on their lineage from Abraham to prove their authority, and Jesus counters by telling them that Abraham rejoiced to see his day.
And the crowd obviously scoffs at that. I mean, they basically say, you aren't even 50 years old, you've seen Abraham.
Exactly. And Jesus replies with this absolute bombshell. He says, before Abraham was, I am.
What's fascinating here is that he isn't just saying, I lived a long time ago. It is a huge ontological shift.
Right, like an entirely different kind of existence.
Yeah, he is contrasting Abraham's historical coming into being with an absolute unchanging state of simply being. It's not about his age at all. It's about existing outside the normal aging process entirely.
To really understand why the crowd immediately grabbed stones to execute him for blasphemy, you have to look at the deliberate grammatical dissonance he used there.
Oh, it is completely broken grammar. Deliberately broken.
It's like saying, before the Roman Empire existed, I am currently making coffee. It totally breaks the timeline. So let's unpack this. Is this just clunky Greek or a coded message?
Well, there is a massive debate here. The phrase in Greek is ego eimi. Now, traditional Trinitarian scholars link this directly to Yahweh at the burning bush in Exodus 3.14.
Claiming the actual ultimate name of God, which would explain the
stones, exactly. But looking at this strictly impartially, we have to note the counter-argument from non-Trinitarian scholars. They went to something called the PPA rule.
Wait, the PPA rule? What is that?
It stands for present of past action. Under this grammatical principle, they argue a present tense verb modified by a past time clause should actually translate to I have been.
Meaning he's just claiming pre-existence, like, I have been alive since before Abraham.
Right. They argue he was claiming to be older than Abraham, not necessarily claiming to be the God of the universe.
Okay, but if the non-Trinitarian scholars are right, and it's just clunky grammar, meaning I've been around a long time, why did the crowd instantly try to execute him?
That reaction is the core issue. It tells us we aren't just arguing over verb tenses, we're arguing over the nature of time itself.
Okay, so how does that work?
Have you heard of Boethius? He was an early philosopher who introduced this concept of nunc stans.
The eternal now.
Yeah, the eternal now. The broken grammar of before Abraham was, I am, implies this vertical eternity. Instead of walking across that horizontal wooden ruler of time, this kind of existence hovers above it, holding all of past, present, and future simultaneously.
Wait, hold on, though. If he is floating outside of linear time in this eternal now, how did Abraham physically see his day in the past? Abraham is still stuck on the ruler.
Because Abraham didn't have to physically time travel to see Jesus. There is a Jewish text from around that same era called the Apocalypse of Abraham that gives us the missing mechanism.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. What happens in the text?
Well, Abraham actually receives this apocalyptic vision of the end of the age. He saw the plan of Jesus playing out in the future.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't a literal physical meeting.
Right. And this supports what scholars call the divine agency model. The idea here is that Jesus was acting as God's agent, carrying out a preordained mission that existed before the world was made.
Ah, so representing the divine name, rather than necessarily claiming to step outside the bounds of human time himself. So what does this all mean for us? I mean, we are looking at this massive tension between John's high Christology and other messianic or adoptionist views.
And that tension isn't just ancient history either. Centuries later, mystics like Meister Eckhart looked at this exact verse and saw a roadmap.
Really? A roadmap to what?
Well, if I am represents an eternal now, Eckhart believed it was a state of ultimate God consciousness that you, the listener, could actually try to tap into today. It wasn't just a theological argument, it was a spiritual state to aspire to.
It really shows how one sentence can be a mirror for linguistics, theology, and philosophy all at once. But let's leave you with this final thought. Think back to that wooden ruler of time we snapped in half at the start.
Yeah.
If vertical eternity that Nunc stands is actually real, and all of history from Abraham down to this exact second exists simultaneously in an eternal now, how does that change the way you value the passing of this exact second?